Upgrades.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another JVS movie review brought to you from the Tribeca Film Festival. This film here is named Restless and is directed by Jed Hart. It stars Lyndsey, Marshal, Aston, McAuley, Barry Ward, and Kate Robbins. And here's a quick synopsis. A middle-aged empty nester's mundane life is upended when raucous new neighbors move next door, unleashing potential danger and disruption. Now, this is one of the best dark comedies I've seen in a minute. Absolutely hilarious. As we're introduced to the lead character of Nikki, played by Lyndsey. And here, when we're introduced to Nikki, we see that she just lives a normal life. Her parents died in the apartment next door. She has new neighbors there now. But her life is just normal. She goes to work, comes home and relaxes, goes to bed. And then all heck breaks loose as these new neighbors move in. And it's a story of the neighbors from hell, where they do everything humanly possible that you wouldn't want to have your neighbors do. Loud parties every night around midnight to 1 in the morning, and they last forever. As we see Nikki just struggling to deal with these neighbors. She even goes by to be nice, asks them to lower down the music. They did it for maybe an hour, turned it back up again. And her neighbor here is named Dino. And Dino is the worst neighbor humanly possible, but his reactions are absolutely hilarious in this movie, as you cannot tell him he's wrong in anything that he's doing, down to using his own mental health as a reason why he needs to blast his music at all times of night. It is a normal nightmarish neighbor type of film. That's the setup of Restless. And just her not being able to focus, not being able to get any sleep. She has a demanding job where she works with the elderly, and then having to go home. That was her peace. And now every night her peace is interrupted, down to her attempting at one point to buy noise-canceling headphones, and they don't work because of just how raucous the neighbors are next door. And slowly in this film, we get kind of a descent into madness of her not being able to sleep and just doing as much of the crazy stuff as you can ever think to make up for her not being able to sleep. It is one scene in particular where she breaks into the neighbor's house and just causes destruction left and right in an attempt to get sleep. And then what happens and what it leads to after those actions truly take this movie to another level of just insanity, for the way the neighbors reacted to it and how it just plunges her deeper and deeper into this abyss of not knowing will she ever get to sleep again. In a part of the way, we also meet Barry Ward's Kevin in this film, and he just seems to be someone who clearly likes Nikki and wants to help Nikki and just wants to do anything humanly possible for Nikki. But he meets a fate in this movie that's hilarious also in trying to be her knight in shining armor here. Like, this film is really driven by these two neighbors, especially by Nikki, especially by Lyndsey, putting on an amazing performance here. This is a tour de force type of performance of just how they're just breaking her day by day, hour by hour, by just not letting her get any sleep and just being the most disrespectful neighbors humanly possible. Down to her going to police and not getting any recourse. Her going to her neighbors and not getting any recourse. And then we just see just the lengths that she's willing to take just to get peace back at home from these neighbors. Those are some of the best elements of this film. Mr. Jed Hart, I want to say, make sure I say his name right here. Mr. Jed Hart, who directed this film, he does a brilliant job at pacing this movie. Absolutely brilliant job at pacing this movie. Because this is a movie that could have went off of the rails because of the story. Like, again, it's a neighbor movie from hell. Like, these are easily to go off on a tangent and make these overly comedic, which in turn leads it to being way too silly and losing engagement with the audience. But here, while it has extremely funny moments, Some of the moments that are funny are not funny on the screen for the actor who's going through them, but just as an audience reaction, it's funny. And that's just using natural situations to give you human reactions that could be humorous. Really, really works well in this film. And it happens a lot in this film. Down to, we have a moment, if you ever saw the movie The Help, a very similar moment in this movie from that movie of just showing the lengths that one is willing to go to just to pay a neighbor back for just being as inconsiderate as humanly possible. But again, this is a definitely enjoyable movie to check out. But Restless, brought to you from the Tribeca Film Festival. Out of a possible 10, I'm going to give Restless an 8 out of 10. This is an entertaining film, an extremely entertaining film, with a third act that is executed brilliantly. Like, this film gives you a conclusion that is extremely satisfying, but doesn't feel unrealistic in the way it is shown in this film. As everything leading up to it, you kind of thought this would be the way it would go down. And they did a great job at leading you there, not speeding through any element of the story, taking its time plotting it, because you need to show the madness that Nikki is going through and how she just is engulfed in everything, in every horrible emotion humanly possible, because she just can't get peace at home. And it just shows, again, once you don't get peace at home, what are your next steps that you take here? And just because of that, with an amazing performance that we get, it sets Restless apart from other films that have tried this nightmare neighbor scenario, but just went way too silly with it. Here, it stays grounded, stays realistic, and extremely entertaining. But check it out. Let us know what you think. This has been another JVS movie review brought to you from the Tribeca Film Festival. Peace, people.